Becca here. Today we're going to talk about proper form and posture. And this can be applied to when you're doing exercise or standing or sitting, just chatting with your friends. So what I like to do is I like to start with my feet and work my way up my body. And this way it's repetition for myself. So in my mind, silently, I can go through cues. So what we want to do is start with our feet about shoulder width apart, and we want to try to keep our toes pointed forward. Sometimes some of us naturally have a slight outward point to our toes, and that's okay. But if we can, we want to try and point them forward. So the next cue is our knees. Now, sometimes if we have fallen arches, or maybe our posterior chain is weakened, or maybe we have some tight quad muscles, sometimes our knees might tend to fall inward. And what we want to do is we really want to try to keep our knees in line with our toes, with our feet. So one way to do that is to envision kind of turning the earth with your feet, but don't really twist your feet. Just thinking that way. And what that will do, it will contract some of your muscles in your legs and pull those knees outward so that they're in line with your toes. One thing I forgot to say about your feet, try to keep your weight evenly distributed between your heels, your midfoot, and your toes. So I got my feet pointed forward. I've got my knees in line with my feet. Now let's move up to our hips and our glutes. In a minute, I'll repeat this series to the side so you can see this better. But for right now, the cue is to squeeze your glutes, tighten your glute muscles. And so when I do that, you can actually see my body go up a little bit. So here I am relaxed. Here I am with my glutes tightened. As a side note, oftentimes when our posture is poor or we have some weak stabilizing muscles, we tend to carry our weight in our traps up here, our upper traps. And so when we're talking about proper posture, really activating our glute muscles, which are big muscles, takes some of that stress off of our traps. So we carry our body then from our glutes instead of up here in our traps. Okay, so I got my feet pointed forward. I've got my knees in line with my feet. I've got my glutes activated. And the next cue that I'm going to think about is I want to take the tops of my hips and bring them towards the bottom of my rib cage. So it looks like this. So it's basically like you're about to do a crunch. So you're just tightening your ab muscles basically. You'll notice that what happens is my upper body then comes forward. So to correct that, the next cue is to take our shoulder blades, pull them backwards and down towards our glutes. So I'll show you it all in series. Feet pointed forward, knees in line with our feet, glutes are activated, the tops of my hips come towards my ribs, my shoulder blades go back and down, and your last cue is to think of yourself as having a tall chest. So you're up this way. That's your proper posture. So now I'll go over it to the side so you can see it a little better that way. So same cues. Now as I go through these, in your mind, try and anticipate what the next cue is so that you start to memorize for yourself. So first cue, my feet are pointed forward. There, my weight's evenly distributed on my feet. Check my knees, turn that ground underneath me to make sure my knees are in line with my feet. I'm going to tighten my glute muscles. I'm going to pull the tops of my hips towards the bottom of my rib cage. I'm going to pull my shoulder blades back and down. And I'm going to give myself a tall chest. And that's your proper posture. Now this can be applied too if you're sitting down. It's the same concepts. Work yourself from your feet to your knees. So that might look like as if you're sitting and your legs are wide and your toes are pointed out. See if you can point your toes forward, knees are in line with your feet. Same thing with your glutes, tightening your glutes when you're sitting down. Some people can't really envision how to do that, but try it out. You can do it. Same thing with the hips in your rib cage. It's going to come down in like a crunch and then pull your shoulder blades back and down. and a tall chest. And that's gonna help prevent that like slumping forward in your chair. All right, that's proper posture.